and the light around me will be night. Even the darkness is not dark to thee. The night is as bright as day.
I guess it's bringing puppetry to its essence, to its simplest form. And because I really am, in my mind, projecting the character through my hand.
If I take the wings of the dawn, if I dwell in the remotest part of the sea, even there, thy hand will lead me, and thy right hand will lay hold of me. Hello, my name is David Simpich, and welcome to, well, a rather unusual gallery. It's a portrait gallery, but here the artwork is not hung on walls. Rather, it is suspended in space on strings.
What's happening now after, 13, I think I've designed 13 different shows through 17 years. It's so much more intimate to me what's happening on stage.
Although you don't know it. You are a very dear friend of mine. You, like the other characters on this gallery tour today, have become an extension of me.
One of the characters was the Elephant Man, who lived in the 1800s in England. As I came out on the stage with the puppets, I realized in my script writing there was a lot more opportunity than I had ever realized to give the puppet a chance to really act.
I've heard that you read the Psalms quite often.
Yes, I do. I've committed many of them to memory. They are the most beautiful words in the world to me.
I feel very, very separate from what's happening down there with that guy, or with the character that's performing. I don't feel like I'm up here doing the voice and he's down there acting it. It really seems like he's doing the voice.
Symbol of control and manipulation is so upsetting to you.
Well, let me tell you, and I always tell the truth, what with my embarrassing nose problem and all. If I thought that being a puppet was a terrible thing, then I might agree with all the negative images and comments that circulate through our society about strings.
I like the word connection, being connected, which is always what I've thought puppetry was about.
David? Dave, oh, there you are, way up there.
The historical characters in this show, for the most part, were introduced to me by my great-grandmother, Nana Ritter, who is also a marionette in this show. And I find that the characters I met, in the pages of a book when I was very young.
When I was a little boy, my best friend lived just next door. My parents had an apartment attached to their house, and this is where my great-grandmother, Nana Ritter, lived.
Almost every day, David would bound or fall or sneak or fly over to my little apartment for a visit.
Puppetry helps me now go back to that place that was so easy to visit when I was young. And I see my own children they are in that garden, and it's a wonderful thing to see.
I learned
how children
to believe, to really believe in things I couldn't actually see or hear, because as I carefully searched Nana's face as we'd play, there was never a hint, never a glimmer that she was not really believing.
Howdy, folks. Name's Jim White, and I'm standing here today at the entrance to my cave.
call it my cave, even
My
though
interest in Carlsbad Caverns had always centered around this wonderful cowboy named Jim White and his heroic efforts through the years.
I was the original modern explorer of it, impressed down deeper into it than even the Indians had ever gone. Ain't bragging, though, just grateful for the opportunity.
Portraits is unique in that it wasn't a story, wasn't a single story that captured my imagination. I guess what finally captured my imagination was all these different characters that have really nothing in common except my interest in them.
Mr. Simpich, working under you gives me a voice and enables me to stand. I can't see up to you nearly as well as you can see down to me, but that's all right. I'll take my cues as you give them.
It's a wonderful experience to filter my thoughts down through the strings to the puppet and then see the puppet bringing those words to life much better than I could in a simple way.
O Lord, thou hast searched me and known me. Thou dost know when I sit down and when I rise up.
Well, I knew that this man was an extension of me, and his poetry in the Psalms are such a part of my life. There was really no way to do this particular show and not have Psalm 139 included.
If I take the wings of the dawn, if I dwell in the remotest part of the sea, even there, thy hand will lead me.
Without imagination, what a poor place my world would be.
Connection between Helen Keller and myself, if they don't identify exactly with her life and what happened to her, perhaps they will identify with the whole idea of learning to see without your eyes and being able to hear without your ears.
Bursts into leaf, the silence and darkness.
Toward the end of the play, when I include a portrait of Jesus by having just an empty frame, I am expressing that there's a different way of seeing
Fine.
where you don't need your eyes.
You are the branches. He who abides in me and I in him, he will bear much fruit. For apart from me, you can do nothing. He knew he was neither connected
When
to himself.
St. Francis withdrew from the cave, from his dark night of the soul, and
That he went up out of his village of Assisi and hid in a cave. He prayed,
Lord,
and prayed, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith.
that's what my puppetry is about, is stimulating the imagination muscle and the desire to know more about the stories I've presented, the characters.
My esteemed friend, I claim not to have controlled events, but confess plainly that events have controlled me.
What I want to do is involve the audience's imagination along with mine, and then between what I'm doing and what's happening inside their head, I hope that something living can happen. And that's why I continue to be dedicated to the live experience of puppetry.
You did not choose me, but I chose you, and appointed you that you should go and bear fruit, and that your fruit should remain.
And I keep noticing that the whole time that I'm telling you about these things, I'm checking Pinocchio. I don't know whether I expect him to turn around and say, "You're doing all right," or whether, too many words, you need more action.